Hey, what is going on today, guys? Evil Graffiti 902 Stories here. And basically, today, this is gonna be a story about the first time I ever did graffiti. One quick thing, sorry for this. Really could try to fix it. No, that just made it blue. Alright. Alright, so hope you can put up with that. Needless to say, this is going to be the story of how little young me, not me now with this weird mustache, went from being a toy to that. And for those of you who don't know, and I'll use graffiti slang throughout some of my graffiti videos, and I'll probably teach you it along a way, toy is basically just the graffiti word for noob. If you hear somebody say, oh, that writer or that artist is a toy, he's basically saying that he sucks and that he's a noob. I mean, I still do suck, but I sucked way worse back when I started. And when I started was when I was around 13 years old. I bought a can of spray paint. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I had a dirt bike at the time, and I spray painted the side, like the plastic paneling. That's what I wanted to do, and I had gotten that done. I still had pretty much a whole can of paint left. And I don't know, it just sat for like a month, maybe two, until I started getting into graffiti. I downloaded a background for my iPod 4th gen, one of the ones, the long ass charging ports, not the thin ones like the wide ones. I downloaded a graffiti background for it, and I just got so interested in looking at all the different names in it, and it started really getting me interested in the history of graffiti. And that's the thing, is usually if I'm going to get interested in something, I'm going to get interested in it because of the history. History is what's going to get me into it, and graffiti just has a real rich history. It's like a world of its own. Like, if graffiti artists were all put onto a world, there would be law and order, but it would be their own law and order. Like, the world would function, but in their own way. It's just really its own world. But needless to say, I started practicing, and I had a couple shitty drawings. I wish I could really had some to show you. I really do. But I had a couple shitty drawings drawn up, and I finally came to this tag that I liked, this name. And it was a little background. My nickname that my mother gave me is Little Bear, because of the TV show. If you ever grew up on that, yeah, as a kid I'd always run to the TV whenever I heard the show start up. Loved the show, so my mom called me that. And basically I took the little out of it, and Bear was my tag, B-E-A-R. And it was bad. It looked horrible. It was horrible, but I thought it was good enough to go and hit a wall with. And I'm gonna just say this now: if you're a young graffiti artist, like if you're watching this because you haven't done your first time doing graffiti yet, and you're watching this because you want to, don't do it yet. I know you want to, and I know the hype's there, but just don't. If you really want to get out so bad, go to your dollar store or your Staples. Go buy some of the "Hello, my name is" stickers, or the Avery blanks, the brand Avery. All I can say is your best bet, because if you get caught with that, you'll probably just get a slap on the wrist. You can scrape it off. You get an idea of what it's like to go out and have to hit somewhere really quick, even though you're really not doing nothing too bad. Some places it's not even illegal. Just remember, there's a difference between sticker art and sticker graffiti. There's a huge difference. Similar, very similar. I mean, the characters look a lot alike, but it's just so different, at least in my opinion. I thought it was good enough time to go and hit a wall. So I convinced my friend Damon, same guy from the First Time Smoking Weed story, and I convinced him to come with me just to kind of spot for me. Like, he didn't really care about hitting up the wall. In fact, no, he didn't, if I remember correctly. He just wanted to come, which I respect that. I respect that. He wanted to come, and he wanted to make sure that I was, like, safe, and, like, didn't get caught. So it was coming down to finding a spot, and it was Friday night at this point, so we had the whole weekend. Friday night comes and passes, now it's Saturday, and we're still trying to figure out where the hell are we gonna hit. And down the road, because I lived on this long road, and like we were at the top of the hill. Basically, if you went down the road towards the town, it would eventually go downhill before you hit the main street. And at the end of the road was a dirt road. So I was like, well, there's got to be somewhere along that dirt road. It's a dirt road. It's like nobody really cares about a dirt road, right? Needless to say, I had it dead set in my head that I wanted to do somewhere along there. And this was a horrible idea because it was right next to my neighborhood. So if I had gotten caught or suspected and police came and they found all my drawings, like I would have been fucked. If you're gonna hit somewhere, just don't hit anywhere near your house. Hell, if you got a buddy with a car, go into a different town to do it. I'm not telling you to do graffiti by any means, but I'm just saying if you're gonna do it, don't be stupid. Like it kind of contributed to how I got caught, but needless to say, we figured out a spot, and it was this electrical box. And at the end of the dirt road, it wasn't an electrical box as in the sense of just a small electrical box on a pole. It was this literal brick building. It had 2 steel doors, and they were always locked, and there was electrical stuff in it because it had the warnings on the door. But it was like a miniature power station, I guess you could say, for the street. And it was white brick, so I was like, yeah, white brick, matte black, camo army spray paint from Rust-Oleum, why not? And that's where I went. And I did my first tag, and I did it in a one-liner. And a one-liner, for those of you who don't know, is basically when you do your tag, and you do it all in one go. You don't take your finger off of the cap, it's all one fluid line. Like if you go from the starting letter and all the way through, it's just one solid line. There's no break, there's no lift, it's all one solid line. And I can still recreate this thing to this day. It's a monstrosity. I'm sorry, by the way, if y'all can hear the Ricer Civics that are flying past the house. They do that way too much. Ricer Civics, please, nobody cares. Except for that black Prelude. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. It's a nice car. I like the Prelude. But, yeah. Just a ugly tag. But I was so proud of it, because I did it in one line, and I got up, and that's the worst part, in my opinion, is I had planned this whole thing out, made this whole rigorous plan of how we're gonna sneak through the back dirt bike trail to get there, because there's a dirt bike trail behind it. I know I didn't mention this, I probably should have, but there's a dirt bike trail behind this place that I was planning to tag that connected literally right in front of my house, which it's hard to explain how this looked, but it's literally right in front of where I used to live. Go up to a park, and then the park had the dirt bike trail, and that's how I got there. And no, I didn't hit the front of it where the road could see, I didn't hit the side of it where the neighborhood could see, I hit the back of it, where only people walking the trail, or dirt biking, which nobody would have been because the ruts were so deep. So I literally had this big plan for nothing. And if you're a young aspiring graffiti artist, all I can say is learn from my mistakes with this video. But yeah, I hit that spot, and I thought it was the best thing ever, and I went through this whole rigorous planning just for pretty much nobody but me to see it, since I was the only one that really went biking on that trail. And yeah, I mean, the story, it's not the greatest, but I mean, we almost did get caught. I guess is a good part. I probably definitely should have tried putting this story. I kind of, you know, I forgot. My English is fucking up. Just real bad. But no, when we were doing the painting, there was a point where my friend looked over, and my neighbor, like literally the neighbor to my house, like, because it was a duplex, the literal person that lived next to me, who eventually moved out, was sitting there having a cigarette, and all I could think to myself, because it looked like the cigarette cherry was pointed in our direction, was they see me. So I just sat there up against the wall, completely still, just waiting for somebody to yell. Nobody yelled. It was good. We were fine. Snuck back, military prone crawled my way with Damien. We both did this. up through the dirt bike trail, getting covered in mud and bugs just to not get caught by the neighborhoods that are like the houses right beside the trail. And it was stupid that we thought they would, but yeah, snuck back, and I thought I was the biggest badass ever. Went back the next day, looked at it, still thought I was the biggest badass ever, even though I knew it was the most toy thing in the world to think so highly of myself. That mindset changed really quickly when I started watching graffiti YouTubers and really started getting into graffiti. But yeah, I know this was kind of a boring story, but I hope it was entertaining. I hope me being a dumbass and getting all anxious over one really ugly one-liner tag was good enough for you guys. I know it wasn't the most exciting story, but it was my story. I have way more exciting stories that involve graffiti, but until I upload them, I just had a moment, my mind blanked, realized I fucked up English. But until I upload them, you guys all have a good day. Stay safe. Stay stoned. Peace. Did not mean to rip off Xcode.